Championship week. We are absolutely fired up that we get an opportunity to play at home for our #1 goal in this program is the Mountain West Championship. Obviously bitterly disappointed after how we played on Friday, but it doesn't detract from our main goal, and that's to go 1-0 this week, and if we do, we got a chance to win the Mountain West Championship. So we're excited about the opportunity to play a really strong Utah State team, really resilient team. A team that lost their leader and quarterback, Chucky Keaton, but have continued to roll and win the Mountainside. So looking for a great matchup of the best defense in the league versus the best offense in the league, and I think it's going to be a compelling matchup.
You weren't the only favored team to take a tumble in a rivalry game this last weekend. At the very top, we saw what happened to Alabama in crazy fashion, and there were a few other examples around the country. Does that kind of put it in perspective for your team and make it a little easier to focus moving forward, knowing you're not the only ones that had something like that happen?
I don't know that that makes it easier. Perhaps so for some guys, but it's something that happened. We've got to own it. We've got to correct it, our mistakes, and move forward. And that's why our mantra the entire year has been 1-0. It doesn't matter if we won or lost the previous week. We've got to go 1-0 this week. And if our guys will continue to focus, I know we will, on our preparation against Utah State and not worry about last week's game, because that one's over. It's making the corrections and going forward.
We talked a lot all season about the luxury of learning some lessons in victories, and now you had a defeat. And what lessons do you think your team can learn from what happened Friday?
Well, we're going to have to learn the lesson of resilience and resolve. Anytime you lose, you can take it two ways. You can feel sorry for yourself, and you got about 24 hours to do that. But at some point, you've got to now turn that fire on and resolve not to let that horrible feeling happen again. And I know our guys are committed to working to correct the issues we had. We're excited that we have one more game to play, so that's not our final game, that final taste that's left in your mouth, and be able to have the final home game for all of our seniors and be playing for the inaugural Mountain West Championship. I can't figure a better way to get over that feeling than having that opportunity this Saturday.
Utah State, 7 points the last two games combined against two really high-scoring offenses in Colorado State and Wyoming. What do they do defensively that has held teams in check?
Well, I'll tell you two things. That they've got really good players and really good coaches, and that's a good combination. They're very physical up front. They run a scheme similar to ours. They'll base out of 3-4 personnel, but get into multiple fronts. They play very, very physical defense. They tackle well. They chase the ball well. They play very, very hard, very, very sound. And when you do that with good players, it makes it difficult on offenses. And so we'll have to be very efficient. We'll have to make some explosive plays, and because it's going to be a tough game to chip the ball down the field against a good defense like this. We're going to have some chunk plays.
Do you think you faced a secondary better than this year?
I don't know. They're probably as good as we've played all year as a total defense. And secondary-wise, I'd probably have to think about it. San Diego State, I thought, had some really good players on the back end, but I think very, very comparable.
And what are the chances you have Josh Harper to use against that secondary?
He's questionable right now. We'll see as the week goes.
Did you see an impact from that, a ripple effect in your San Jose game, losing him so early?
Josh is one of the better players in the league, so losing him obviously hurt, but I thought Justin Johnson came in, did a really nice job. It's football. Guys are going to go down, someone's got to step up. So, I thought we still were able to move the ball offensively, not take anything away from San Jose State, but in the second half, we did some things to hurt ourselves with dumb penalties. So, I don't think that had anything to do with not having Josh. It was more self-inflicted.
Early on, well, the whole game was tough to get pressure on fails, but early on, they weren't even getting to third down. Was that kind of taking you out of your blitzing mentality, that you weren't in the situation you wanted to trigger that?
No doubt. Our defense is kind of predicated on getting guys into second and long, third and long, so we can get into some of our sub packages and get a little bit more exotic with pressures. They were doing a nice job on first and second down of throwing the ball down the field and getting us on our heels. And we've got to do a much better job of playing balls in the air, of not having our eyes stuck in the backfield. And it's got to be coached better, and it's got to be executed better on game day.
and I don't want to stick you in Friday and make you dwell on that, but obviously the onside kick was a glaring point, a huge moment in the ball game. Is there something that could have prepared your team better for that moment?
Maybe we put our hands team out there, but I don't think you anticipate putting your hands team out there, with the team having a 1-point lead. They did a good job of executing it. We talked to our guys at halftime. I talked to them personally right before they went on out to see the ball kicked. We practiced it last week numerous times, thinking that this would be a game that San Jose State may try to steal possession. So we practiced it. We talked to them about it as we sent them out. Their kicker made a heck of a kick, made a heck of a play. At some point, during the game, you got to give them credit for out executing us, and you tip your hat to them for doing that.
Coach, taking your whole season up to Friday into account, what maybe disappointed you the most about the performance on Friday?
I don't know relative to the whole season, but on Friday I was probably most disappointed in the second half that we didn't have the resolve, that even though we were in a fight, even though we were taking some punches, we didn't respond as well as we had all year, and how we should have. And that's on me. I've got to get our guys responding better, and we will. We'll have a great practice this week, and we'll be ready for Saturday.
And if they're moving forward, if there's one thing that the coaching staff is going to harp on this week, what might be the primary maybe coaching point this week?
It's just continue to compete no matter what the score is. And when you start playing teams that have good players and are good teams, they practice too. They're going to make some plays. You got to have a fight-o mentality. Forget it and drive on. And if you're worried about the last play and starting to doubt yourself, you're going to have issues. We talk about truth and love being the core values of this program. You've got to trust in yourself first. And you start losing trust in yourself, or losing trust in your teammates, things start falling apart. And we had that a little bit in the second half, where guys weren't trusting their teammates, and so now guys are their eye discipline's bad. They're trying to do some things that they normally wouldn't do. You can't have that in a football program, and we're going to get that straightened out.
Being psyched to play in it, we've talked about this a little bit with senior day when you guys had your last home game for the regular season. This will be the last game for guys like Derek here at Bulldog Stadium. What does that mean to you? Do you guys have anything planned, anything you want to do for those guys?
I think we did what we needed to do for senior day. We anticipated we'd be back here, but there was never a guarantee. To me, I think the fact that it's a conference championship game, the first time we can win one outright since '91, should be enough motivation for our guys and hopefully for our fans to show up, because we're definitely going to be excited. I think our fans do a great job in honoring our seniors and our players all the time, and hopefully we'll get a chance one last time to make some fantastic memories to send these guys out right.